We're back again with another edition of the Murfreesboro Real Estate Report. Thank you for joining in. I'm John Turner. I'm the team lead of Turner Victory Team at Onward Real Estate, and we bring you this report about the Murfreesboro and Rutherford County real estate market every week. We've been doing this for quite some time now. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. We will get to them next week. Also, if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Obviously, that helps us out with the algorithms, and it will keep you up to date with every time we are posting information about the market. All right, so we started something last week. I joked around that every now and then people are like, man, I watched your whole video. And I'm like, yeah, you must be a glutton for punishment, huh? So, but no, I enjoy bringing the data to you. But some people just want a tidbit. They just want to know the top few things. So last week we started out with our top three. And that way, if you are only interested in that, then you've got that information and it's good information for you. Because, we've got some people that really want to know a lot about the market. Maybe you're looking to buy in Rutherford County or looking to sell in Rutherford County. We also have a lot of friends who just tune in, but also a lot of other agents tune in, and sometimes just having a few tidbits of the market helps. I would recommend that you pay attention to all of it so you know a lot about what's going on with the market, but I also understand some people are not into data quite as much as I am. So without further ado, here's the top three things that you need to know about the Rutherford County real estate market this week. First of all, pending home sales were down 18.7% year over year. So we'll get into those numbers and those charts here in a minute, but pending home sales down 18.7% year over year for this week. Point number two, our month supply in Rutherford County is up to 3.61 months supply of inventory. Just back in mid-February, we were at 3.12 months supply. So in just a couple of months, we've gained nearly half a month supply of inventory across the board. Why does that matter? Well, if you're a buyer, it matters because you've got some more choices and you probably have some sellers that are a little bit more negotiable. So it's putting you on a better foothold. If you're a seller, you got more competition. There's less homes going off the market, so you're just every week competing against more homes. Point number three that you need to know about the Rutherford County real estate market this week is 32.7% of all active listings have reduced their price. 32.7%. That just tells us that people are not pricing their home right. As I said a minute ago, we're in a competitive market, okay? If you're a seller and you're competing against all other houses, you need to take your biased glasses off, okay? Take them off. Go throw them out the window. You need to look at your house through a buyer's eyes and compare it to what other choices they have out there and compare it to the affordability out there. If you're not doing that, you're doing yourself a disservice because you are staying on the market longer than you should. And we talk about it all the time. Whenever you're on the market longer than you should have been, generally speaking, you're going to net less money than if you would have priced it correctly from the start. So those are the three things you need to pay attention to. Now, for those who like the data, let's jump into the charts here and we will look at those. This week, we have the Turner Victory Team market health score at 44. So the Turner Victory Team's market health score is at 44, which means that it is sliding more towards the buyer's side. We're still fairly even, but we were actually a little bit on the seller side, and over the past couple of weeks, we've slid more to the buyer side. Now, remember, we take a lot of things into account with this health score. A lot of it is local data. Some of it's this month supply I'm talking about. Some of it's the days on the market. We look at what mortgage rates are due, and we look at consumer confidence. There's all sorts of things that go into this. But what we are seeing right now is that buyers are gaining more of a foothold in this market. So if you're looking to buy, things are going in your favor. If you're looking to sell, they're sliding away from you a little bit. So keep that in mind. There are 1,455 active listings on the market. That is actually up. We'll look at the chart here in a minute. It jumped quite a bit this week. And we have what we just talked about, the 3.61 month supply of inventory. Now, it's not just overall market numbers. You have to break it down by the price points because every price point's a little bit different. And keep in mind these light blue lines, that NC percentage stands for new construction. That is the percentage of that category that is new construction. For instance, whenever we saw 34 new homes come on the market this week in the 400 to 500 price range, 55.9 of those were new construction. So they were not existing homes. Or whenever we saw 25 close in that price range, 44% of those were new construction. But you look across the board, right now, below 500,000, we're still below 3.5 months supply of inventory. All right. But you start getting it above 500,000. Look at these numbers. We have not seen fives in quite a while until the past week or two. So, 3.61 months supply, you're like, okay, that still sounds like that's probably a seller's market. But you look at this in the $500,000 price range, 5 month supply. Same for the 600,000, 700,000's almost there, 800,000's there. So basically you're 5 to nearly $1 million. You're looking somewhere between 5 and 6 months supply of inventory. Once you start getting above $1 million, you're really getting into the red up there. So don't be fooled by the 3.61 month supply. Look at where you are. Are you looking to purchase in that market? Are you looking to sell in that market? Because it tells you a little bit more about what you need to know. We did have 147 homes come on the market this week. 40% of those were new construction. 101 homes pended, so things are still selling. So if you're a seller thinking, man, nothing is selling, things are selling. Except you can look up here in the 700,000s, out of 64 houses, 2 went under contract. 2 out of 64, okay? 75 houses in the 800 to $1 million, 4 went under contract. So things are selling, but in some price points, they definitely are slower. Know where you are, know what the numbers are. Had 89 homes close. We're still early in the month, so wouldn't expect that number to be real high right now. We will see that increase over the next couple of weeks as we get later into April. One thing that I do want to look at that we don't talk a whole lot about right here is this last column, the percent appended. And this just looks at that particular price point in the market overall and says, okay, how much of the market has pended? Because if you only have 101 homes on the market and you have 101 pendings, man, that market's going crazy. If you have 10,000 homes on the market and 101 pen, that's a really slow market. So looking at the percentage helps us. The 6.9% is definitely lower than what we've seen. To put it in perspective, during the COVID years, that number was probably up closer to 18 to 20% every week. And then even recently, we've seen that number in the 7 to 10%. So definitely lower right there. Now let's jump over to some charts so we can put a little bit of historical data with this. First of all, if you look at this, and let me make these charts a little bit bigger. I made that smaller so we could see the weekly chart there. So this is our active inventory, and we're looking at the orange, and look at this spike right here. That's interesting because we had been trending down. So that's 1 week, not putting a lot of stock in it, but it will be interesting to see if that continues to jump or what's going on, because pretty much all this year we have been running low on inventory. Believe it or not, even though it seems like our month supply and everything's been climbing, the inventory numbers have stayed. They have not grown, let's put it that way. If you look at last year and how everything grew right here, we've been pretty level this year. Month supply, again, the orange line's what we're looking at, and we had been fairly level, but now we've seen this increase the past 2 or 3 weeks. This time last year, we were at 3.07 month supply versus 3.61 this month. But if you go back to 2024, we were below 2 month supply this time. So definitely we've almost doubled our month supply over the past 2 years. New listings. Main thing is if you look at the orange, new listings for the most part has been tracking below last year. No surprise, we've been talking about that for a while. But here's where I really want to get to is the weekly pendings. I'm going to remove some of these lines here in a minute, but I want to put them in perspective. The oranges this year, remember that, and see how we're starting to really peak down here at the bottom. And whenever I say peak, you're able to see us much clearer because we're much lower. So this week's pendings was lower than 2025, 2024, or 2023, which is something we have not seen because if I remove these lines, and especially pull out 2023, but looking at 2024, see how we've been above 2025 numbers? But look at this nosedive. Why do you think that is? Huh? Why do you think we saw that nosedive there? Well, I'll go ahead and jump ahead right here and tell you that nosedive is running about 2 weeks behind where we saw the mortgage rates go up. Everything in the Middle East, inflation concerns, all that, mortgage rates, the 30-year average was at 3.98. It went up to 6.46. Good news is this week it dropped 6.37. If this trend continues over the next couple of weeks, I think that this trend may follow in line a couple weeks later, and we might see this start going up again because we had a lot of momentum right in here. As a matter of fact, the only real drop down you see, this was the week of the ice storm. Besides that, we've outpaced 2025 all year, but we're mortgage rate sensitive right now. So that is something that we have to be aware of whenever it comes to that. Let's see what other numbers I have for you. Some interesting things. Almost 31% of all the homes on the market right now actually went under contract in the first week. Why is that? If you've listened to me any time at all, the 3 Ps. They were presented right, they were promoted right, and they were priced right. It takes all 3 of those working together, and if they do, you could be one of those 31% of homes that actually went under contract in the first week they were on the market. Conversely, 21% of the homes have been on the market for over 90 days. So that's something to take in consideration because they were missing at least one of those 3 items. They weren't priced right, presented right, promoted right. Could be 2, could be more than that. But what we're starting to see is those homes in the middle. That's shrinking up. And either homes are selling quickly or they're sitting for a while. You don't want to be caught in the middle, and you definitely don't want to be caught at the end. Sometimes people think that as realtors we talk too much about price, but it comes down to price. We have a very educated buyer pool, and price is very important. And with as many choices as people have, they're not going to overpay for a house. I'm sorry. We got spoiled as sellers during the COVID years, and people were paying things that you just could not justify with the comps. They just weren't there, but people were afraid they're going to miss out on the house, so they were paying X amount. There was no rhyme or reason to it. But now people are they look at the data like I do. It's available everywhere. They know what homes should be priced. They know where they should be priced. They know how they should be presented. And quite frankly, with all the competition, even though it says it should be priced here, buyers are looking for something that's a little bit below that. They're not looking for a steal. They're looking for a good house, though, that is actually at a good price. Doesn't have to be a steal, but it can't be overpriced. So keep that in mind if you're a seller. Let me see. Out of the 32.7% of active listings that have reduced their price, they've reduced it by 3.6%. So, pricing, it's important. But buyers, hear me out. You have some good opportunities right now, especially if we see a little dip in the mortgage rates over the next couple of weeks. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict all the geopolitical things that go on. But their inventory levels are getting up some, and hopefully some sellers are getting a little bit more motivated, but it does create opportunities for buyers. So if you're thinking about buying, certainly need to get pre-approved. Certainly you need to talk to us first. Here at the Turner Victory Team, we can walk you right through it. We've helped out thousands of clients, families, friends, whatever you want to call them, because it seems like all our clients tend to become our friends, and we love that. But we can walk you through the process. We can help you out. We can use this data so you can know what we're seeing, and it will put you in the best position. If you're looking to sell, same thing. Let's look at the data. Let's look at your house. Let's see how we can position you to get it sold. I'm John Turner. I'm the team lead of the Turner Victory team at Onward Real Estate. I appreciate you tuning in this week. We always appreciate everybody who listens, who asks questions. So please continue to do that. Let us know if there's any way that we can help you. But in the meantime, I hope you go out and make it a great week, and we will see you next week. Thank you.